Often when I'm onboarding a new client, they come to me with one specific goal, and that's to help them get to the goal, whether that's fat loss, whether that's muscle gain, but I'm here to help. That is my job. Now, when we onboard a new client, we have that goal in mind, but often when we dig into injury history, there's one very common thing that occurs, and that's lower back pain. So the theme of this vlog is to establish if you can build a back, and if so, how to build a back with lower back pain. Because again, it's very, very common. I'm either dealing with people who are kind of office workers who are sitting down all day, and then when they go to train, they're hurting their lower back. Or I'm dealing with people who are kind of laborers, people who are lifting things up and down all day, and they suffer with lower back too. So we're coming at it from all angles. And rest assured, if you do suffer with lower back pain, you're not alone, basically. And I can also give my anecdotal advice, because I actually suffer with lower back pain as well, and I built an okay back, not a great back, but an okay back. But anyway, we're gonna go to the gym, we're gonna take our pre-workout, and I'm gonna show you how to train through the lower back pain. Peace. So essentially, when we're looking at lower back pain or lower back pain and training, we are essentially looking at a big thing in the fact that we need to look at axial and spinal loading, basically compression of the spine. A lot of lower back pain is coming from things such as kind of maybe potentially squats, things that you don't necessarily think about, like maybe even like a shrug where you've got the pad on your shoulder, stuff that's basically compressing the spine. So if you're going from an office job or from like hard labor, which we obviously established previously in the vlog, and then going into something like a squat or something that's really, really loading the lumbar, you're going to have a very hard time. So number one thing when we're trying to limit kind of back pain whilst making back gains is actually trying to take loading away from the back, basically stopping spinal compression. And again, like things like this, like the lat pull down is absolutely fantastic for stuff like that in terms of trying to limit that. And you've also got to look at lumbar loading, like stuff like RDLs and stuff like bent over rows are all going to be situations where they're going to load the lower back. Now, both of them, axial loading and spinal loading and also lumbar loading, are going to contribute a lot to fatigue, right? But also fatigue of the back, right? So if you're having really, really kind of bad lower back pain and you're going to something like a bent over row because it's deemed quote unquote air quotes optimal, then understand it's probably not the best idea to do that. There's going to be other variants where we can use that are potentially going to be a little bit better for your situation. Again, going from hard labor or sitting on your ass all day in an office and then going straight into a bent over row is far from optimal, and that will go into our next kind of subject, which is going to be take your warm-ups seriously. So seriously think about warming up. Like, don't go from doing nothing or doing everything to then just going straight into your working set and loading sets, etc. It's not going to pan out very well. Actually spend some time warming up, essentially. Another thing that goes really under the radar is actually staying hydrated. Now, when we kind of look at injuries and kind of significant injuries like ACL tears and everything else like that, we always look at obviously like taking care of your body, etc., etc. But nearly all of it is done in a dehydrated state. So make sure that you are on top of your hydration. So that's a very easy one, but also kind of swept underneath the rug. Don't train like a dick is the next one. So basically, if you're suffering with really bad lower back pain, like sciatica, etc., don't go balls to the wall when you're not feeling 100%. Part and parcel of kind of lifting or hypertrophy training in general is knowing when to strike and knowing when to pull the fuck back, right? That is basically part and parcel of lifting, and that will just come from training experience and possibly even, God forbid, like injuring yourself, right? When you injure yourself, you know in yourself, right, okay, I should probably, because I did that, because I had that significant injury, I shouldn't really push on the gas right now because last time I did that, this happened, right? So you almost, like, in some cases, you almost do need that little shock and awe, like, oh shit, like, I'm mortal, right? But
essentially, yeah, me telling you, please, like, know when to strike and know when to pull off the gas is a big one here. And failing all of that advice, especially to do with the spinal loading, because that's a big one, and axial loading and lumbar loading, they're really the main three. Failing all of that, we can try like pre-fatiguing. So that's one thing that we can do very, very well. So like pre-fatiguing the lats and stuff. So doing like lat prayers and then starting to do bent over rows and stuff. So that's another one. And then again, failing all of that, and you've tried pre-fatiguing methods and you've tried limiting axial loading and limiting lumbar loading. Failing that, you need to go to a professional. You need to go to a chiropractor and just get them to see what's going on, because obviously something's not right. If you're trying all of these different things and potentially you're being coached and we're trying to work around all of this stuff and you're still having lower back pain, etc., then again, go see someone who is qualified in that area, and basically who can like touch and feel you and just kind of correct, maybe even if it's something to do with your posture. Just correcting it kind of in person is going to pay dividends to not only your physique, but also like general day-to-day life, because dealing with lower back pain on a day-to-day basis is very, very tough. And I don't think people get that, but it's very, very tough. But you can build a big back or a decent back with lower back pain. You just have to kind of know how, and them tips hopefully help you in that regard. But anyway, back to the vlog.
Now, some of you eagle-eyed viewers would see this coffee and think, that was a lot fuller that we just witnessed you make. That's because half of it is down the stairs. I had to remake one, which is sick. But anyway, I was going to touch on something that potentially could get picked up, and it's the fact that obviously lower back pain is very, very common, and obviously these things are generalized approaches to how we can build a decent back with lower back pain. Now, these are not saying that this is how to build the best back. This is how to work around lower back pain, and by no instance is it saying that this is how to maximize your back growth. It might be how to maximize your back growth, again, with back pain, we'll keep it in, back pain, but it's not necessarily going to maximize it if you don't have lower back pain. Like, I would really advocate for someone to really be proficient with hip hinges. But essentially, if the hip hinges are going to tap into the lower back pain, then obviously that's not a very kind of plausible option for you. This vlog and these tips are basically insinuating that this kind of general conception that you can't build a big back or you can't build a decent back whilst having lower back pain is basically null and void. We can. We just have a few different workarounds. And again, everything's got this like little nooks and crannies of nuances. They aren't like necessarily, all of these tips might not apply to you. And this is why, like, at the back end of the voiceover, I basically said, if you try all of these different things, like, go, and they don't work, please go and see someone and have them kind of touch you and feel you, etc. But basically that was a very long-winded way of saying you can build a big back. Is it going to be kind of the biggest? Probably not. But also, if any of them tips do not help you, please go and see someone, get it sorted, and then, again, because it taps into so much other aspects of your life, it's not necessarily just training, it's also like going for a walk and going up the stairs and stuff. So if any of them things do not help, again, go see someone who is in the professional field of chiropractical. Go see a chiropractor. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that vlog, and I will see you in the next one. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Peace and love.